Hello there, I'm Linda. Welcome to Rightfully So, where we delve into the Encyclopedia of Human Rights, a free digital resource available through Gwinnett County Public Library's website. Today, we're going to explore disability rights. For much of human history, individuals with disabilities were not considered equals and treated as such. According to the Encyclopedia of Human Rights, quote, "The resulting segregation, economic marginalization, and dependency were generally perceived as inherent to the medical problems of people with disabilities and outside the realm of human rights law," unquote. Societies considering themselves civil, i.e., wealthy societies, have long developed welfare-based programs for these individuals, but the programs are often institutionalized and segregated. On the other hand, developing countries have relied more on family support and charitable aid instead of governmental aid. Regardless, disability rights were often differentiated from human rights all over the world. Beginning in the 1980s, however, a shift occurred when organizations aimed at disability rights such as the League of Physically Handicapped and We Are Not Alone, along with activists and scholars, led the charge toward human rights-based movements for individuals with disabilities. They began using the term disableism to refer to, quote, "the systematic violation of the dignity of people with disabilities and the institutional forms of prejudice and denial of equal opportunities," unquote. Disableism is comparable to racism, sexism, and homophobia. What does it mean to be disabled or have a disability? The truth is that existing answers are complex and that there's no universally accepted definition. For individual model scholars, disabilities are defined medically as traits that are observable physical, mental, sensory, or psychological derivations from normality that are caused by disease, trauma, or other health conditions. They view disability as a functional limitation that can be helped through medical intervention, rehabilitation, or adaptations, or as a permanent life restriction. Conversely, social model scholars such as British sociologist Mike Oliver consider the idiosyncrasies of each individual, therefore going against the binary idea of able-bodied versus disabled. The only thing that scholars agree upon is that being disabled is merely based on functional incapacities. Further, there are two general approaches to modern-day disability rights: minority rights and universalism. Minority rights scholars tend to group people with disabilities into their own separate category and believe in overall civil rights for this independent group, whereas universalists argue that disability rights could affect all of us and acknowledge the nuanced nature of what being disabled means. They focus on the intersection of disability with race, gender, religion, sexual orientation, and so on. The civil rights movement of the 1960s transformed how people thought about disability rights slowly but surely, leading to the adoption of the United States Americans with Disabilities Act in 1990. The ADA prohibits discrimination against people with disabilities regarding employment, public services, public accommodations, and telecommunications. Unfortunately, disabilities are unfairly seen as inabilities and as financial drains on governmental institutions to many in our society, with people treating those with disabilities as incapable or less than others. In order to provide individuals with disabilities the same opportunities as others in the face of such adversity, it is thought that the government must take responsibility and act accordingly in good faith and model their actions after the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. Either way, we could all start by being more considerate to others, no matter who they are, what they look like, or how able-bodied or not they may seem. Thank you so much for watching our Rightfully So series. I hope you learned a little something about what disability rights mean and what can be done to help individuals with disabilities obtain and maintain their human rights.